I want you to look at two different lives. The first life belongs to Daniel. Daniel is 38, works as a senior project manager, and earns $165,000 a year. He lives in a large house with a 3-car garage. Inside, you'll find an 85-inch OLED TV, expensive furniture, 2 nice cars, and enough equipment in the garage to suggest Daniel is a golfer, cyclist, camper, and part-time survivalist. From the outside, Daniel looks successful. But there is one small problem. Daniel is almost broke. Not technically broke, the more sophisticated kind. High-income broke. Every month, his salary arrives and immediately gets divided between his mortgage, car payments, insurance, subscriptions, credit cards, and approximately 17 things he bought because they were 30% off. Daniel doesn't really earn $165,000. He temporarily holds it. Then, everybody else comes to collect. The second belongs to Ben. Ben is 37, works as a high school teacher, and earns $72,000 a year. He lives in a modest apartment, drives a 6-year-old Toyota. His television is old enough to wonder why on earth a television needs Wi-Fi. But Ben hasn't worried about making rent in years. He has a 6-month emergency fund. He invests every month. His retirement accounts are growing. And if his principal makes Monday morning particularly difficult, Ben doesn't have to sit there thinking, I can't afford to lose this job. Now, if you compared Daniel and Ben based only on how much they earn, Daniel would look like the clear winner. He earns roughly twice as much, lives in the bigger house, drives the nicer cars, and owns more expensive things. But Ben has something Daniel doesn't: financial breathing room. And that reveals one of the strangest truths about money. Your financial stability isn't determined only by how much money you make. It's also determined by how much of your income your lifestyle requires to survive. So today, I'm going to reveal 8 minimalist money habits that can make your financial life simpler and more secure without turning frugality into a competition to see how many years you can make one pair of socks survive. This isn't about being cheap. It's about building a lifestyle that demands less from your money. Let's begin. Habit 1. Think beyond the price tag. Whenever we find something we really want, most of us do the same quick calculation. We look at the price and think, yeah, I can afford that. And for some purchases, that's perfectly fine. A $100 pair of shoes will probably cost you $100. But bigger purchases can be very different. Take a $50,000 car. Maybe the monthly payment fits your budget. Great. But then there's insurance, fuel, servicing, tires, repairs, registration, and depreciation. So the real cost isn't just buying the car, it's owning the car for the next 5 or 7 years. So with bigger purchases, ask yourself a different question. Can I comfortably afford to own this? Because some purchases take your money once. Others develop a long-term relationship with your bank account. Habit 2. Don't automatically replace things. Here's something we almost never think about. When something breaks, our brain immediately goes, okay, which new one should I buy? But sometimes there's a better question. Do I actually need another one? Let's say the TV in your bedroom finally dies. Not your living room TV. I'm talking about that second TV you switch on roughly once every 3 months. You could immediately spend $500 replacing it. Or you could ask, if I'd never had a TV in this room, would I buy one today? Maybe yes. Fine, replace it. But if you're thinking, actually, probably not, well, there's your answer. And this applies to all sorts of things. Printers, kitchen appliances, even that treadmill you've barely touched in years. Our lives change. What made sense 5 years ago might not make sense today. So don't confuse I used to own this with I still need this. Sometimes the best replacement is no replacement at all. Habit 3. Watch for the lifestyle multiplier. Have you ever bought one thing and somehow that thing convinced you to buy another 6 things? Let's say you decide to start cycling. You buy the bicycle. Fair enough. Then you need a helmet, cycling shoes, shorts, a bike rack, and suddenly you're standing in front of a mirror dressed like you're competing in the Tour de France when your actual plan is to cycle to Starbucks on Sunday. That's the lifestyle multiplier. And it happens with everything: gaming, photography, camping, you name it. So before a significant purchase, ask, what else am I probably going to end up buying because of this? You may still decide it's worth it. That's fine. Just remember, some products arrive alone, others bring friends. Habit 4. Keep things that still work. This one gets me too. A new phone launches, and suddenly, every problem with your current phone becomes incredibly obvious. You know what? The battery has been getting worse. The camera isn't that good anymore. And actually, it did freeze for 3 seconds last Tuesday. Yesterday, perfectly good phone. Today, apparently unusable. Nothing changed. There's just something newer to compare it with. And we do this with cars, laptops, televisions, everything. So before upgrading, ask, would I still want to replace this if I hadn't seen the new version? If your phone genuinely doesn't work properly, obviously replace it. But if the answer is no, your phone probably didn't suddenly get worse. Your comparison got better. Keeping perfectly good things for even 1 or 2 extra years can save you a surprising amount over time. Habit 5. The 72-hour rule. Buying something has become almost dangerously easy. One click, saved cards, free delivery, buy now, pay later. Everything is designed to make the purchase feel as effortless as possible. And that's exactly the problem. You barely get a chance to ask yourself, do I actually need this? So here's a simple habit. For any non-essential purchase over, say, $50, wait 72 hours. You're not saying, I can't have it. You're saying, if I still want it in 3 days, I'll buy it. Because Mondays, I need this espresso machine, can very quickly become Thursdays, wait, I don't even drink espresso. And if you still genuinely want it 3 days later, fine, buy it. The point isn't to stop spending. It's to separate, I really want this, from, I wanted this for 11 minutes. Habit 6. Automate your savings. Most of us have probably tried this. I'll save whatever's left at the end of the month. Sounds reasonable. There's just one problem. The end of the month arrives, and somehow there's nothing left. Because when money sits in your checking account, we have a remarkable ability to find things to spend it on. Dinner, shopping, a weekend away, something for the house. None of it seems like a big deal at the time. But by the end of the month, all those little expenses have quietly eaten through the money you were planning to save. So instead of saving what's left after you spend, save first and spend what's left. When your paycheck arrives, have a portion automatically move into your savings or investments. That way, you don't have to make the decision every month. Set it up once, let it happen automatically, and carry on with your life. Because motivation is unreliable. Automation doesn't wake up on Saturday morning and think, I've had a difficult week. I deserve a PS5. Habit 7. Review your recurring expenses. This one is boring, but it works. Every 6 months, go through your bank and credit card statements and look specifically for recurring charges. Streaming services, gym memberships, apps, anything automatically taking money every month. Because recurring payments have a wonderful ability to become invisible. You sign up for something at $12.99 a month. 3 years later, you're still paying for it, and you don't even remember the password. So, twice a year, spend 20 minutes asking, do I still use this enough to justify paying for it? If yes, keep it. If not, cancel it. You're not becoming cheap. You're simply refusing to continue paying for something past you signed up for and present you forgot existed. Habit 8. Try before you buy. Most of us have met our imaginary future self. Mine is impressive. He cycles every weekend, he's an excellent photographer, he camps, and apparently, he does woodworking. There's only one problem. Imaginary future me requires a lot of equipment. We become interested in a hobby, and before we've actually done the hobby, we're researching the best equipment for it. Instead of buying everything up front, give the hobby a test run first. Borrow the equipment, rent it, try it a few times, and see whether you actually enjoy it. If you're still doing it 3 months later, great. Now buying your own equipment might make perfect sense. There's absolutely nothing wrong with spending money on hobbies you love. It's just to avoid spending $4,000 discovering you don't actually like cycling. And now that we've gone through all 8 habits, let's go back to Daniel and Ben. Daniel earns $165,000 a year. Ben earns $72,000. But the biggest difference between them isn't really their income. It's the amount of money their lifestyles require every month. Daniel earns a lot, but a huge portion of that income is already spoken for. The house, the cars, the subscriptions, the upgrades, all the little purchases that became part of his normal life. Ben earns much less, but his lifestyle requires much less too. And that's really what these 8 habits are designed to do. They lower the amount of money your lifestyle requires every month. And that creates a gap between what you earn and what your life requires you to spend. That gap is where financial stability begins. Because the bigger that gap becomes, the more options you have with the money that's left. You can build an emergency fund, invest more, pay off debt faster. And when an unexpected $1,000 expense shows up, it's annoying, but it doesn't ruin your month. That's the financial breathing room Ben has, and Daniel doesn't. And here's the important part. You don't necessarily need to earn more money to start creating that gap. Sometimes you just need to stop letting your lifestyle get more expensive by default. Keep the phone another year. Cancel the subscription you haven't used since February. Wait 72 hours before buying something you suddenly need. Don't replace something just because it broke. These aren't dramatic financial decisions. Nobody is going to make a Netflix documentary about you keeping your iPhone for another year. But that's kind of the point. Financial stability is rarely built through one spectacular decision. It's usually built through hundreds of ordinary ones that leave a little more money behind. So don't measure your financial life only by how much you earn. Pay attention to the other side of the equation too. How much does your lifestyle require from you? Because earning more can certainly make you richer, but needing less can make you freer. And if you enjoy looking at money through logic rather than hype, subscribe to Logical Money for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.